Ooh, I like your JoJo pose.
We live in a world where that is like stupid.
And like a lot of holidays just don't appeal to me anymore.
I will now rip apart your argument for
Yeah,
you.
very good. No one understands me when I say that word. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. It's not morning, Joe. Stop. But maybe it's morning somewhere, but it's not morning here. Joe. Don't. You're not fooling me.
It
I
may
look outside the window just about enough to know this.
it may not be morning, but it is the dawn of a new episode of JaDS. Hello,
Oh yeah,
Dominic.
Dad's podcast. Hey guys, what's up?
Yep.
Jad's Dom here
Yep.
with Jad's Joe.
Yep, JaDS Joe here with JaDS Dom. We talk about
Yeah.
things and
Mhm.
yep.
Very good. Intro complete.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about, Joe?
I don't know. Why are you enthroned in a comforter?
Oh, I'm currently at warfare trying to get my mother to raise the thermostat by exactly 2 degrees. It is freezing in here. I am like a man in the Arctic. I am shrouded in snow. I live in an igloo. I am dying. I am freezing. All my bones are solid ice. My blood is a solid, actually.
Wonderful.
It's
Yeah.
cold.
I whenever I get cold in my room from the same reason, I just turn my computer on and
Well, yeah, usually the heat does it. Just between my computer and being on the second story.
yeah.
But
It's like
I
if
don't
I'm
know.
feeling
It's
cool,
cold
if I'm
outside
feeling
today.
cold, that means that I'm me and the atmosphere surrounding me is going to make a
Mhm,
wonderful natural cooler for my
mhm.
computer. So I just take the opportunity to run something a little more intense.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's freezing
Actually,
in
no.
here.
I
That means
will.
I
I
can
will
run
see how
VR for
long
an
I can
hour.
last without the.
Oh, my
I will
computer
see how
over
long I
here.
can last without the comforter. Very good. Throw
So
that on the bed.
what's new and exciting? What's the
What's new and
news?
exciting?
What's the news in the world? What's the news in the states? What's
What's
the
the
news in
scoop?
the Dom world?
All right, the scoop in the Dom world. Well, in the productivity department, first of all, yesterday was my most productive day on planet Earth. No
Oh,
one has ever had a more productive day than my yesterday. I like actually did the responsible thing where I got home from school and then I was like, okay, I have many things that I can do because I'm wrapped up in a bajillion projects, as I
mm-hmm.
spoke about in the last episode. And I said, okay, here's like 3 things that I can do. I'm going to pick one of them. Then there are things that I have to do. I'm going to do all of them. And then I actually did that. This has never happened before.
Mm.
I usually plan out my day in the morning to make myself feel better and then like go by none of that.
Mm.
But it actually happened and it actually worked. I'm gonna try and keep a streak.
Yeah, today I started my linear algebra homework that's due tomorrow instead of starting it tomorrow. So I'm
Mhm.
also at an all-time high in the
Very
productivity
good.
department.
Congratulations. Yeah, the other thing is I am now involving myself in a long-term strategy to build the ultimate notebook. That is what it's called.
Oh,
I recently switched to Notion for taking my notes, and
Notion
basically
is
Notion is like a text editor that's it's like kind of a text editor that is built almost as if it was made for people who do programming, but not made for people who do programming. It's just like it has like you can make databases in it. You can
oh
reference
dear.
other lines.
Oh, I'm not inverted. Hold on.
Oh no, invert yourself. Anyway,
Oh,
you
oh
should
no.
invert yourself now.
Okay, I'm inverted.
Very good. All right.
I went to look at you and then I realized I was looking the wrong direction. I was like, oh,
Okay.
uh,
But yeah, so Notion's neat. I'm
sorry about that.
basically trying to make a gigantic collection of everything that I know and have everything linked together in cool ways. Basically, it's like trying to build a Wikipedia for the knowledge that only I know. And
Okay.
I've learned that it is much more intuitive to build your own Wikipedia than try and learn from Wikipedia. Because instead of having to read all the individual links, those are just things that you already know about because you've already written them.
Right. So you're taking notes.
Yes, this is the notes.
Yeah. Yeah, I
At
recently
least I'm
like
taking notes beyond the idea of just like copying a slide.
yeah. No, I've gotten to the habit of like, like, oh, I want to like I should write it down, then I'll know it. So I basically like, oh, I'm gonna make my own textbook. I'm gonna write such extensive notes that it's just gonna be my own textbook because I'm gonna forget. Like good enough notes are a crude textbook. If you're willing to make
Yes.
the logical leap. And then I was like, well, one thing led to another, and I came full circle, and I've just bought a copy of the textbook I'm supposed to own, and have just
Mhm.
been like reading it.
Oh.
Like, you know,
Yeah,
um,
I haven't bought my textbooks. This doesn't mean I've pirated them. I just haven't looked at them at all. I am not a textbook guy. I hardly learn from them. I just
yeah,
I just have shit reading comprehension actually. That's like one of my biggest pitfalls. Is like
yeah.
being a very good language
Well, I
student.
like, how it always is. I'm always like doing things in the wrong order. Like for my
Mhm.
linear algebra class, I was like, oh, I'm getting nothing at a lecture. And normally I'd be like oh, textbooks are a scam. This is so dumb
Mhm.
guy. But now I just skip lecture and spend the time reading the textbook guy. Um,
Okay.
specifically
Well,
for
how's
this
it working
class.
out?
Great. I think the
Mhm.
guy who wrote the textbook is a much better, either is a much better teacher than my teacher is, or just had longer to think about it than my teacher did.
Okay.
Because like when you go to lecture, it's just the textbook but being spoken, and like the guy who thought about it long enough to put it into a published book probably figured out how to phrase it better than like my linear algebra professor that like kind of struggles to articulate linear algebra, which is very complicated. So
Okay.
I'm I just read it now, and it's kind of cool because I feel like some 1 million IQ guy who doesn't need to go to lecture and just like learns on their own, but really
Mhm.
I'm just reading the textbook. It's not.
Yeah. Well, I've always been an advocate for self-study anyways. How are
Mhm.
you enjoying college like as a whole though?
Um
Like are you enjoying what you're studying so far?
yeah, it's honestly, like I'm beyond my classes currently. I like it's
Mhm.
baby stuff that I already know, except it's just like a little bit different. Like I'm in two
Mhm.
CS courses. One is Java, but like I've already gotten this far in uh my last class, except it was just in C, and like
Mhm.
beyond some like I don't even notice the syntax differences. I'm kind of just sitting like beyond how you the initializing or whatever, it's exactly the
Mhm.
same. So
You
I'm
said
like,
Java and I had to make a bunch of disgusted
yeah, I
faces.
noticed.
Don't like Java.
Um,
I don't.
and the other one is just discrete math, which I already
Mm.
know. Discrete math is just time consuming to do. Um,
Mm.
but it's not bad. Linear
I
algebra, I'm
remember
already
when I
like,
invented discrete math.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't have time anymore, you know?
This
Like
is a dilemma, yeah.
whenever like all of a sudden I'm on the clock for myself constantly, I just don't
Mhm. Yeah,
like
college is fucking time consuming. Oh my god.
it's not that I mean I do feel overwhelmed, but most of that's my fault. But like even if I was operating correctly, it's like if I can't do something right now, it's not I'll do it tomorrow. It's kind of like all right, I'll do it next week, you know?
Mhm.
Like that's just kind of what it is, like oh, I didn't have time to do this. I'll the next time I have like a week will pass before things will happen again.
Mhm.
And it's weird because even if you're keeping up, it's just like all of a sudden it feels like time's passing a lot faster. I'm thinking in terms of weeks now instead of. I guess being
Yeah.
busy will make you look ahead that way. Like if you're not doing
Mhm.
anything, you're when tomorrow's free, you don't really care as much about your next week, I
Mhm.
guess. But yeah,
Yeah, I remember like literally like projecting out my entire year to justify why I didn't have enough time for D&D anymore. I was like, "Ah, yes, I literally I had to like cancel running a couple of campaigns actually that I had planned to run seasonally
mm,
because I looked at like my overarching schedule for 2022 and realized I would not have time to reliably run a D&D
yeah, yeah,
campaign. Ooh, me too.
yeah.
Water.
Like
Water's good.
I still have some free time. If I was a little bit better, I'd have more. But
Mm.
it's more so like whenever I do have time, it's at regular intervals that like I know like my free time is like habitual now. Like I know that every
Mhm.
Tuesday evening or whatever, I have off, and like for that
Right.
reason, all of a sudden, like all the things that I'm supposed to, that like I have a lot of assignments that I don't specifically like allocate time for. I'm just like, it goes in one of the free time slots before it's due, and that's how I've been doing it.
Mhm.
It really hasn't been working out like that. It just kind of falls into the same time every week because I find the
Mhm.
time for it in the free time before it's due every week. And all of a sudden, even my
Mhm.
free time is being much more regularly spent, you know?
Yeah, I started to come to that conclusion, and I kind of hated the fact that like I would say have like D&D on Fridays, and like I couldn't register this as free time in my head because it's scheduled,
Yeah.
and like I can't miss it because there's a social obligation to be
Yeah,
there.
that's the real difference. Even my personal free time, like it's still there, but
Mhm.
it is allotted and it is scheduled, and
Yeah.
there is a little bit of a sense of freedom that you gotta get you gotta swallow, I guess, if you want to be a functioning adult. I mean, it's not that bad, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna take some getting used to, you know.
Yeah. So
But
I usually try to multitask and try and get as much stuff done at the same time where it's like possible to do
mhm,
so because multitasking is very limited. We
yeah.
talked about that in a lecture the other day.
Yeah, well,
Um,
whenever I'm looking to maximize my free time, I'll put on my favorite podcast to
oh
my favorite people, and I'll listen to them talk about things while I do something else.
yeah, very good.
Th-
We approve of
We
this
approve.
idea. But
We
listen
approve
to
of
JaDS while you
you.
do your homework.
Yes, listen. Don't
The
do that.
answer is seven. The answer is put seven down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually will do something like, for example, listen to a video while like there are activities that my brain will perform, and then there are activities that my hands will perform that
Yeah,
largely
yeah.
don't involve my brain. Like, for example, I can listen to like a lecture while I say like drill through scales on bass
I
or like
like to
finger exercises.
I
Same
like
thing for
to
drums.
I like to like grind in an SMP while eliminating my
Mhm.
watch later feed from YouTube.
Going through my watch later is actually a big one because it grows, and I've actually like gotten to like keeping on top of my watch later and
Mm.
not just like how like you sometimes people say like you eat with your eyes.
I've
I'm like that with my
actually
watch later.
I've actually stopped, like, one of the things I did. I was like I am no longer allowed to watch YouTube videos on mobile anymore. If I want to watch a YouTube video, I have to do it on desktop. And
Okay.
this was literally just because I'm trying to cut down on like the time lost, like in the in between land between the things in the schedule.
Yeah.
I used to lose a pretty large amount of that to putting on YouTube impulsively while I do something else, and then I finish something else, and then I just keep watching YouTube afterwards. And
Oh
like,
yeah, that'll do it.
and this is fine when I'm in front of my computer because I do it when I'm in front of my computer. But it if I'm doing, I do it. I used to do it while I got ready to go somewhere. And it would always make me really push the line of whether or not I was gonna get there on time.
Oh my
Um,
god.
so like I moved the YouTube app off my home screen, and like
Mhm.
gave my muscle memory a hernia, and I was like, and
Oh
by the
yeah.
time I manually found it, the mental instinct kicked in, and it was like, are you really sure you want to do this? You know,
Mhm. I
so
had a
stuff like
I had a
that.
similar moment, where also because like, you know, as someone who's like been teaching themselves a lot of things in the realm of art, game development, music theory, yada yada, that involves the use of a lot of like YouTube videos. And it's very easy, like, oh, I go into YouTube and I see my recommended feed, and there is like, oh, just like a short 30-second video
Yeah.
that like, will easily take me into like a 2-hour distraction land.
Mm-hmm.
Um my solution to this was to literally just get rid of my recommended feed, and boy howdy, did I go through like a month of like, why isn't my feed loading in? what the fuck? And I like refresh the page and forget that I like literally told my ad blocker that YouTube isn't my recommended feed is
Oh
an ad.
man.
Block this element.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we're really in the era of like enforcing parental controls on yourself. You
yeah, no,
know?
it's necessary. If
It
you like,
is.
there is only so much willpower you should have to exert to
Yeah.
like if you're going out of your way to exert extra willpower to stay disciplined, to flex, like you're not impressing anybody. Like you're just making life harder for yourself.
Yeah, in fact, and you don't need to like commit to it either, because I know that I'm pretty
Mhm,
idealistic, and I'm like, ah, it really
mhm,
bothers me that I have to do this. I think it's like unseemly for myself. But like
yeah.
sometimes all it takes is just disrupting the habit a little bit. Like
Mhm,
I actually ended up putting like re-enabling the YouTube app on mobile after a week. Um
mhm.
and like the week of not doing it was enough to like shake me out of the habit of just doing it constantly. You know, it put me in the habit
Okay.
of like putting a little forethought into it. And like, yeah, I might fall back into the habit a little bit, but like it was definitely like a bit sobering, you know, and I think it was helpful.
Very good.
Um yeah. Speaking of keeping things timely and calendaring and uh
Mhm.
I hope you're having a or going to have a good President's Day when this episode comes out. Um and I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. How was your Valentine's Day, Dominic?
Joe, first of all, this video will release after President's Day. If it's going to release on Tuesday. Otherwise, my Valentine's Day was average. It has been the same way for you, Joseph.
You know what's funny? So the Super Bowl
Yeah, yeah.
Sunday was the day before
Mhm.
Valentine's Day this year, which was funny because like in my recent memory, I never remembered those two events like being nearby
Yeah,
each
me
other.
neither.
And I've like I mentioned that passingly to a few people, and they're all nodding. They're like, "Yeah, you know, that's kind of odd." I mean, the people I talk to don't generally care about the Super Bowl very
Mhm,
much, so um, it wasn't like that notable. But still, I thought it was kind of funny. Um,
mhm.
you know, they, I have nothing interesting to
Yeah.
say about the Super Bowl.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I
and
also don't have anything like I didn't even like usually like in like younger years I'd watch the Puppy Bowl, but like I didn't even do that this year. I was like, oh shit, it's the Super Bowl. I
yeah.
forgot.
Well, when I was
Um,
younger, it was a stupid excuse to get together with people, which I don't know. It might have been. It might be still now
Well, I think
if the
it's
times
a
weren't
good
different.
excuse for people to get together now. It's like the whole point of the event, I think, is to get together with your bros and watch the
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
Bowl.
But like, and then when I got a little older, like I still tolerated it, but I was old enough at that point to like I have enough of a self identity to know that I didn't like sports. Um,
Yeah.
and then so like when I was like a tween, I still like engaged in it, but I was very resentful, and I also like said I was there only for the commercials. And
Mhm.
then as I grew older, I really was just there for the commercials and like to be around other
Mhm.
people. Um, and like now I'm at an age where like interesting notes about commercials after like the day after the Super Bowl will appear in
Mhm.
one of my feeds, and I'll like make a mental note about it, and that's as engaged as I
Yeah.
am.
It's odd being in this state. I guess this is kind of new to me that, I'm like an adult now. Not 21 yet, but like I'm getting there. At
Hmm.
least legally I'm 19. I'm considered an adult. And like a lot of holidays just don't appeal to me anymore. Like really the only like as someone who has a job now, the only reason I care about Christmas is mostly to just see my family, and obviously COVID has happened. That hasn't really
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Um
Well, I mean,
and
even when you were in school, like I didn't celebrate President's Day. I celebrated the random
yeah.
day off of school. That was
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
celebrated. You
Like,
know.
it's days off from school or work, and like, it's odd now. Like, holidays will come and pass. I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like holidays, some people care about these, some people don't. I've never
Well,
been a Valentine's Day guy. I used to like be extremely spiteful of the holiday. Now I just kind of don't care.
yeah, I do
Uh,
remember, and but I not that you need to, but like this is definitely like let me know for me in the comments if like you relate to this at all. When I was in
Mhm.
like high school or younger years, I remember like being in a crowd of people that like got very like overly spiteful around Valentine's Day. Like
Mhm.
I knew a guy in like in high school where who would consistently every year crack the joke where they would like go out of their way to wish me a happy singles awareness day, and I would like
Yeah.
and I'd chuckle under my breath and move on. And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I was one of those kids as well. You know, like growing up, I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's Valentine's Day." I,
The fucking Grinch of Valentine's Day.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I don't know. It's like funny, but it's also from a place of genuineness because like what not that you don't can't do something nice on Valentine's Day, but
Mhm.
like if you're like single, it's a pretty big miss. It's a pretty big
Yeah,
miss.
well, I mean, like, I
Like
think for me, what usually when I used to be very cynical about it, it wasn't
mhm.
so much the idea of being cynical. It's just like, oh my God, this is like almost as much like product placement as like a fucking teen TikTok celebrities YouTube, not YouTube page. You know what I mean. You get what I mean. Yeah, I'm trying to refer to that like it Valentine's Day
It's
often feels
corporate.
very corporate,
It's corporate, yeah.
and it's for me it's just like an excuse to sell cards and flowers. And I actually know someone who, God bless her soul, works at a florist shop.
Oh, me too. Me too, actually.
Yeah, we're talking about the same person.
Are we?
Hi. I think so.
I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
She watches the podcast. Hello. Um.
Yes. I got um I ended up getting uh a orchid for my mother for Valentine's Day. So,
Very good.
um like I think one of the nice things is that
Mhm.
the uh like there's the corporate, and then there's like, well, it's also supposed to be a nice thought, and the cynical people are like, well, you can't separate those two things.
Yeah.
It's nice sometimes that you can separate them. Like, for instance, right? I'm not a card
Mhm.
guy. I think they're silly.
Me neither.
I'm not a buy a card guy. I'm capable of producing like a moderate amount of thought on like a
Mhm.
piece of paper that I handwrite.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to like throw a gag in with someone and call it a card and say
Yeah.
like, "Love your best friend, Dominic."
Yeah. And like at that point, you know, you have like there's a lot of like little like digital card equivalents that like floating around a
Mhm.
couple of the online spaces I'm in.
Yeah.
Like the Kagabros server, the Discord server.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they did this cute little like anonymous like Valentine's card thing. And like
Yeah. Yeah.
no money, no businesses were profiting from that, but it
Yeah. No,
happened
that was
anyway.
nice.
Like it was the thought, and it was also completely removed from any like weird company selling you the idea.
Yeah, the context or the way it worked was basically that you submitted like the handle for someone in the Discord server, and then you
Yeah,
like sent a message, and it was all automated, so it would be like an anonymous like cool like, oh, you are very cool. And I got a couple of cool comments. I like my procrastination caused me to forget to write in this for some of my friends,
yeah.
but
No, it's
it's neat.
it's neat that we live in an or at least our generation is kind of in an era where we can get the nice part of it,
Mhm.
where we send like a Valentine's or a Christmas or a Thanksgiving DM to somebody like
Mhm.
who we're acquaintance level with, and that covers it, and it's completely
Yeah.
uncorporate, obviously.
Mhm.
So you know we have that going for us, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I was like, I don't do cards. I'll send them a DM. That's my
Yeah.
new
Yeah,
stance.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
my new stance. Um, but yeah, you know, that's what it is.
Mhm.
It's also like at Christmas time, especially, like I'm always like, I take it as a personal challenge to like come up with something original enough to be
Mhm.
better than whatever the corporate default would have been, you know, when I was younger.
Right, right.
But
You try and make like a special card.
Yeah, like when I was little,
Okay.
I would like, I'd be in the habit of like getting some construction paper out and like a couple crayons or whatever and like go ham.
Oh, very good.
Um, Especially because like some of the cards are so bad. Like, I'm pretty
Mm.
sure they only exist because like card shops only exist. Like
Mm.
90 to 95% of their sales are probably because the cards are so bad that their poor quality is novel, and that's why
I
like
mean, yeah, all
it's
the
how
ones
you
with
make your
jokes are
relative
like
exhale, and
it's like
it's a it
joke book level
yeah,
jokes.
you slide your uncle like a really terrible pun and like a $10 bill, and like
At least Navidad.
yeah.
Like that's
Um
it.
but
Um,
all right. So um
holidays.
yeah, President's Day is coming up. President's Day is yesterday maybe. I don't know.
Happy President's Day.
Um
What does President's Day even celebrate? Is
the
that a political
presidents.
question? Do I have to ask that?
That celebrates the presidents.
Oh
All
my
of
god.
them. All of
All of
them.
them.
They're so
All of
important. I bet a president signed off on President's Day.
them.
I don't know. That's like
Um,
okay. That's a valid question. All right, I don't know
What
what all
does
the
it's a
days.
fucking problem if people don't know what holiday they're celebrating. What does President's Day mean? Washington's birthday. It's just George Washington's birthday.
Okay. Hold on. It's officially Washington's birthday. I didn't even know
And it's meant
that.
to me neither, and it's meant to honor all presidents.
Okay, it's recognized as honoring George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and is sometimes understood as a celebration of the lives of all US presidents. What a weird day. It's kind of
It's like
odd.
Veterans Day for presidents.
Like, presidents are really important people, but like if there wasn't a President's Day and one of the presidents proposed a President's Day, I feel like everybody would be like, we don't need a President's Day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know, is there well, like I guess actually well, in like a monarchy, the birthday of the monarch would probably be a national holiday, right?
Yeah.
So
Probably.
I guess there's some precedent for that. Some precedent for
Actually,
that
is it?
if you will.
Do people
Yeah,
celebrate
I think so.
Queen
I mean, people
Elizabeth's
celebrate
birthday?
the
I don't know the queen's name.
well, obviously they're going to celebrate Queen Elizabeth's birthday because all old people's birthdays are celebrate all old celebrities' birthdays are celebrated. Like, yeah, they're still alive. I was more so talking about just generally in monarchies. I think it is though. Yeah, old people. I think
Wait, what the fuck? Why does Okay, I'm I'm enamored.
I mean like
This
weddings
article
are
is
celebrated,
titled
right?
"Why Does Queen Elizabeth Have Two Birthdays?" And then
What does the
it
article
says
say?
this is on townandcountrymag.com. And then it says on April 21st, the actual day of her birth, Elizabeth II celebrates privately, and then open parentheses. We imagine she eats custard tart for breakfast in bed, surrounded by corgis. Close parentheses. I have no clue why this imagery is here.
Oh, I think
But
I've
on
seen that
Saturday in June, she
article.
marks her official birthday publicly.
Okay, so her birthday publicly is not the same as her birthday privately, but that information is public.
Yes, dude, that's so weird.
Well, I mean, that's probably just a royal extension of like, yo, do you want to come to my birthday party on Saturday? It's actually Tuesday, but I have school on Tuesday.
Okay.
Man, I want to go. I want to be invited to like to like one of my peers' birthday parties. But like I want to be invited to an acquaintance's birthday party and I want the party to be like that of a 10-year-old.
I was gonna say we were like in first grade and you invited your entire class to your
Yeah.
birthday.
Like,
Like, get the guys and let's go to laser tag.
oh my god.
Yeah.
I was actually like, I don't know why, maybe because I'm doing this, but Google decided that maybe I would be interested in podcasts on YouTube. So like I clicked on one and like I only listened to like a 20-minute snippet of it. And one of the topics of that was laser tag as adults. Which the commentary on is obvious, Wouldn't it be funny? Would it be wrong? Would I be frowned upon? You know.
Joe, it would be an episode of JaDS, a special episode in the future where we go play laser tag 1v1. Imagine.
Dude, we live in a world where that is like stupid because me and you could probably have a better experience in VR if we really wanted.
Yeah, well, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Virtual reality.
Virtual
Yeah,
reality.
come to think of it, VR, like, totally, like, maybe except for, like, the primal need to run and, like, well, you're not even allowed to run, actually. They don't allow you to
Okay,
run.
well, like it might replace like laser tag, but then you have like, then
Paintballing and BB
then
guns is,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
all
then there's
different. Not
paintballing and
BB guns,
BBing.
airsoft. Ooh,
Um,
hiccup.
who?
Yeah.
I think we're ready for
Hick
intermission.
cough. I think so, too.
I also think so. Are you ready for
Oh.
intermission?
I'm ready for intermission.
I was talking to the
Let's,
audience.
Oh. I answered.
Okay, I guess they're ready. Hello, it's Editor Joe here. Just a couple things. One, if you've made it here and you haven't already, please like the video and maybe leave a comment just so Dom and I know that with the work we put into this isn't for nothing. If you want to do more, you could retweet our uploads on Twitter, but honestly, just mentioning it to a friend you think would be into it would mean the world. The more feedback we get, the more we can adapt. Two, if you're a band kid, keep an ear out for the news on our band special me and Dom got in the works. We'd love participation for that one. I think it'll be really cool. And that is it. See you guys later. Enjoy the rest of the episode 5. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Hello, Dominic.
Very nice intermission.
Thank you.
Hello, Joe.
What's this week's post intermission activity?
Today, for post JaDS episode, I will give a topic. We will each have 60 seconds to develop an argument, and we will debate each other.
Oh,
The debate will go on for as long as it continues. I'm
okay.
going to start a timer, and then I will announce the topic. Now, do you want to argue for this topic or against this topic?
Oh, I
You
have
don't
to
get to
pick.
know in advance.
Okay, and I have to.
Yeah, you don't get to know.
You're not gonna like manipulate the phrasing of it to change my pro into
No,
against.
I'm going to read
or
it as
something.
is. I'm actually going to give 2 minutes.
Okay. I would like to argue for because the world is a positive place and I'm for
The
more
government
things.
should ban chewing gum. Go. Think. 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. Am I allowed to do research?
If you can fit it in 2 minutes.
Okay.
This is intended to be goofy, so like, don't give me like an actual like thesis and opening statement.
Oh,
Unless
you can't say that now. I'm already researching the amount of international deaths caused by chewing gum annually. Oh my gosh.
My fucking notepad.
I think 1 minute is enough, but
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay, I've just developed a strategy.
Okay.
I've just a very good one. Let me get Notepad open.
Okay, and time.
Okay. Do I have
Minutes
to
are up.
do I have to open first, or do you open
Um.
first? How are we gonna
Oh,
do
that's
this?
right. I forgot. You like were the president of a debate club. You like do. I was just gonna say like let's argue.
Okay, so normally you'd like open with a
Yeah, you
thesis.
do. Mhm.
I think that the government should ban. I'm pro the banning
Okay.
of chewing gum in the United
Okay. You
States.
want government to ban gum. I think that this is absolutely atrocious of you, and that you were the devil. Um.
My thesis is that they should do this because chewing gum is bad and it should be banned.
Oh fuck.
That is my thesis. Um,
I my thesis is because I think chewing gum is good, and you are wrong and stupid. Um,
oh,
do
okay.
you understand, Joe?
Yes. So I could go. I'll begin. Okay.
Yeah, go.
I could begin. Um, I'm going to first establish my argument, and then I will
Mhm.
attack your incredulous and ridiculous argument, as is the
Okay,
proper structure of debate.
okay. Oh, I
So
will just clarify for everyone, by the way, this was a randomly picked topic. I don't have any actual stances on chewing gum.
yeah, neither do I. No, only until as of 5 minutes ago, I strongly think am anti chewing gum. um, chewing gum is bad. Gum kills. Chewing gum is not illegal enough. I don't like chewing gum. There are better alternatives to chewing gum. I will now elaborate on all of these stances and more. Um,
Okay,
First
do
of all,
so.
when I typed into Google chewing gum deaths, the first thing that came up was an article about somebody dying supposedly allegedly from chewing gum, and their last name was Jenkins. And if you have any remorse towards the death of anyone in the Jenkins family, then your remorse should ethically compel you to ban chewing gum. I can't believe chewing gum wasn't banned after Jenkins's death. um, Chewing gum on a technical level, except is according to Google, and an article I found, which was trustworthy because it wasn't coming from the top of my head, says excessively chewing gum is also a common behavior among people with eating disorders like anorexia nervosa, the most deadly psychiatric disorder, end quote. And also that too much gum can lead to jaw disorders and pain, and sugar containing gum can cause cavities, but the dental risks are low enough such that the American Dental Association gives gum a seal of acceptance, even saying that chewing it after a meal can maybe help wash away acids. But this is actually a pro in my favor because chewing gum is just dangerous enough to be a problem internationally and killing Samantha Jenkins, but not a problem enough where the American Dental Society is going to do anything about it. So we need to create an international ban.
Oh my god.
Um,
You're atrocious, Joe. I think you're atrocious.
Also, it dissuades you from brushing your teeth as a quick fix if to bad breath, which will result in you not doing the proper and responsible thing like brushing your teeth. And if you're really in that bad of a pickle, chewing gum is silly because you could just use a Tic Tac instead. That will conclude my opening argument.
Okay. I'm going to open by saying that I think that you're dumb and bad. Furthermore, I'm going to comment on the fact that chewing gum provides immense utility. It is a means of fighting off sleepiness and nausea. It is a tool for culture in high schools where you chew the gum and you like a gang tag, stick it onto a desk to claim it like it's your own, like a lion pissing on a tree. This is very important to high school cultures for reasons that I should not need to specify. Um, Furthermore, if kids are chewing gum, they are not chewing tobacco, and they are not going to be vaping at the same time as they're chewing gum because that would be extremely difficult to do and that would be silly and uncharacteristic. This is definitive and concrete evidence. Um, Moreover, there are health benefits to chewing gum. Also, I like the way chewing gum tastes. Chewing gum is good. Fuck you.
All right, does that conclude your opener, Dominic?
Yeah, that concludes my opening statement.
All right. I will now give
Got
you
more stuff up.
30 seconds to think. Your 30 seconds are over. All right, very good. Um, I will now rip apart your argument. um, chewing gum is bad. Chewing gum is bad. You mentioned that you like chewing gum. This is reason number one that chewing gum should be banned.
Okay.
You said apparently, according to you, chewing gum causes gang violence.
No. No.
And also, apparently, chewing gum encourages culture in high school, and high school students are not old enough to have culture, and this is dangerous. Also, it's a gateway drug into tobacco. Actually, people thought that e-cigarettes were going to be better than smoking, but now the world's hooked on e-cigarettes, and people thought that gum was going to be better than tobacco. But just look at how much of our under generation is chewing gum in glasses. It's running rampant. Dominic, and it's all your fault with your stupid analogy.
No, this is slander.
I don't like how chewing gum tastes.
Fuck you. I don't care.
Have you considered that you could just eat the things that the chewing gum is flavored after if you like the chewing gum taste?
Oh, you're gonna go scavenge through your garden and eat a mint leaf, Joe. Go do it. Go get one.
Well, frankly,
I'd like to
Dominic, I feel like
watch.
you could use the incentive to eat the extra calories instead.
Well, no, Joseph, because if you eat chewing gum, then that would prevent eating disorders. At least it would prevent binge eating disorders because you'd be too busy eating chewing gum
Yeah,
to
but you'd-
shovel cake down your throat.
Yeah, but it would cause anorexia because you'd be too busy chewing gum to shove cake down your mouth.
No, that isn't true.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done to ripping apart your
You're
argument.
done.
There's no foundation.
Oh my God. Your argument has no foundation. It is completely bound in untrue facts and false logic that is used by aliens to justify the existence of humans. Furthermore-
Dominic is now going to prove that aliens exist to back up his argument.
Joe, have you looked up into the stars on the night of on a May afternoon? Do you see the aliens that are watching us?
Hello, aliens. Subscribe to our podcast. It's very good.
Please. Okay. That concludes this event.
Okay. Let us know down in the comments below if you're pro or anti. Who do you think won? There are no winners in debate, but who do you think won? Who do you think is not the loser?
It's funny because a lot of the topics on this random debate topic generator are actually like kind of serious.
Mhm.
And then there's like the government should ban chewing gum.
Why would the government ban chewing gum?
I don't fucking know. Why did the government ban silly bands or whatever the fuck the school board did to
Oh,
silly
because they were distracting. You know, I think it wasn't a governmental ban. It was a school. It was a school ban. All right, I'm gonna
Oh,
take.
okay.
We're done with the intermission activity. So
Yeah. Very good.
yeah,
I thought that was good. What did you think of that joke?
it was funny. We might have spent a little too long on it, but it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, we spent longer on the thing last episode, so I used that as a gauge.
True.
Oh no, I have to get up to get my JaDS hat. Oh my god. Oh my god. I have to like turn around and reach.
I mean, like, chewing gum is just so simple and meaningless. I feel like the only wrong opinion is to feel strongly enough about it to ban it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to offer people chewing gum, but
Mhm.
I think that chewing gum can make you look a little bad sometimes. Like,
If given the chance to, I absolutely 100% argue against chewing gum, by the way.
Yeah.
As an ex-misophoniac, chewing gum was the bane of my existence.
Yeah, that would have
I
probably
just
been
casually did
the
not
core
mention
foundation.
that.
I think it's definitely possible to appear like if somebody
Mhm.
doesn't like you already and you chew gum around them, they're gonna be like, look at this guy, just like chewing gum in
Yeah.
the middle, stupid, whatever. Well,
Mhm.
you think that I want to listen to you, dude? Stupid.
Oh. You know?
Um,
I'm gonna find as many opportunities to do that as I can. Do you want to transition back into the episode, or is this the episode?
this is the episode.
Oh, okay. Hi,
Yeah,
Jads.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were going to drink back in.
No,
I'm going to drink water though.
yeah. No, I think it's always good, like post debate, to reveal your the real position.
Yeah, the true
I mean, it does definitely end up stuck in a lot of places, you know.
yeah. What, gum or debates?
It's just welcome to JaDS episode 5.
Yes.
I think we had a couple user submitted topics. We didn't leave a lot of time for them, but that's just because there wasn't a lot for this week.
Mhm.
Do you remember any off the top of your head? I know that there
No,
was one that
actually, I
came
don't.
up. Give me a moment to find it.
Yeah.
You can skip
And
past it if you want.
in case that doesn't come up, I'm going to prepare the random conversation topic generator because I love this thing.
No, there's me desperately trying to figure out what earbuds to buy, but
Oh, there's one in the chat which I think was done prior. Uh we could do that one. Um
if you
I don't have
want,
much to say on the topic, but I mean that's the point of this podcast. I can say enough as I want about anything. You want to do that one first while it's here?
I'm
Minecraft
not
versus
looking at that
Fortnite.
chat. I don't know what it is, but I'll agree
Okay,
to it
Minecraft
anyway.
versus Fortnite.
Oh, this.
This is also a debate topic, but we're not going to debate about it. We're just going to discuss our
Yeah, I don't
feelings on
have
it.
strong feelings. I think that when things were new and heated, it was to hate on new and rejoice in old was the popular thing, and Fortnite was this representation of everything that was wrong with the upcoming generation of video gamers, and Minecraft, as it was in the middle of its
Renaissance is the
renaissance.
word you're looking for, yeah.
Yes. It became the heralds of everything that was good about old gaming. So they were often like pitted against each other in memes. Fortnite bad, Minecraft good. But like very quickly, we kind of got over that, and the based opinion became play what video game you enjoy, and there isn't a bad video game. I didn't. I remember when Fortnite came out, I kind of had a distaste for it just because of how much it blew up, and you know, I just felt like everyone was getting an overly novel about. Somebody says I disagree. League of Legends.
See a therapist.
See a therapist. Like I kind of had a distaste for Fortnite just because I didn't really like the art style and like the advertising, and I wasn't a huge fan of like, you know, the idea of a battle royale lost its novelty to me way faster than it did in the public eye.
Oh, yeah.
And also like it came with this whole swarm of like young children are enthusiastic about something and everything that young children do is cringe, therefore Fortnite cringe. But like it's really not. You're just making fun of children who are like way more like who are way less afraid of being judged than you are. Like you know, you remember that?
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it's just a game. I think
Yeah.
I think I mean like I'm not a huge fan of like the Epic Games Store, and like I'm also not a huge fan of like the weird marketing decisions and how it's Fortnite is more of a marketing giant than like a video game sometimes, and they'll like
Yeah, that's
host
ultimately what I
marshmallow
dislike about
concerts
it.
in Fortnite and stuff. It's like it's a little gimmicky for me, but like the actual Fortnite Battle Royale video game just like in itself, I have nothing against. You know, I don't. I have other games that I rather play on my to play list before Fortnite. Like I probably wouldn't have a bad time if I sat down and like, played a couple of matches for the first time.
Mhm,
I'm not huge into
mhm.
shooters generally speaking either.
Yeah, I mean, if I have anything to say about it, like, I don't have any problems with Fortnite. I think Minecraft, like, for kids offers a lot more developmentally speaking, but
Mm.
that's not because it's Minecraft, that's because it's a sandbox game being
Yeah, it
compared to a
has a lot
shooter.
of opportunity for creativity, right?
Yeah,
And
like, I
like,
I attribute a lot of my early success in mathematics, which I was actually successful in early on, not anymore, but I was, like, really good at powers of 2 because of dividing stacks in Minecraft, and that was, like, very uncommon for a
yeah.
3rd grader to even be versed in multiplication whatsoever.
hmm And I would much prefer
Um
to sit down and play a match of Bed Wars with the boys than Fortnite
Oh,
with the
yeah, yeah,
boys.
Bed
But
Wars
that's
is
just a
fun.
preference. I accept that now. There is nothing really
Mhm.
separating me
Yeah,
between them.
I actually remember hearing about Fortnite when it wasn't a battle royale, when it was a survival game, and being like,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah.
Fortnite sounds interesting," and then it blew up as a battle royale, and ever since that point, to me, it's just kind of felt like I was less bothered by the kids and more bothered, kinda like you said, by the marketing decisions,
hmm
where it really just felt like this very, very corporate thing where, a lot of these decisions are pandering to kids almost in the way that I feel about, like, YouTube Kids, which I think is kind of like a cesspool of child exploitation,
Mm.
but,
Like after,
uh
as with most things, after the hype died down and like
yeah.
everybody stopped, it stopped being the zeitgeist of. There's a big word for
Yeah,
you.
very good. No one
um,
understands me when I say that word, fuck.
like then you're just kind of left with the people that just like thought it was fun and like
Yeah. Well, I'm sure
that is
Fortnite
the
is fun.
yeah and like that but like now we're in the appreciable times, so
Mhm.
that's all I have to say
Yeah,
about
the
it.
the only thing that I actually have to say that I would, like, at go out of my way and say I dislike about Fortnite
hmm
is the fact that, I'm not even a big Among Us guy either, but they, like, totally blatantly ripped off of Among Us in their new Imposters game mode, or
Nah.
I know very little about it, but, I don't play Among Us, I don't play Fortnite, but the golden rule of anything that I'm concerned about is that you don't rip off of an indie game studio no matter how big it is.
Yeah, that was a
Like,
little
that's just
silly.
extremely scummy as
I
far
mean,
as
it
I'm
was like
concerned.
poorly implemented and like really late on the hype
Yeah, yeah,
train,
yeah.
so like for those reasons it wasn't such an atrocious offense. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I could
I
sit
think I
here
just
and pick apart the bad things about Fortnite, but
mm.
that's not really
I
the point.
just tend to have issues with more AAA titles
hmm
because of how corporate they tend to
I mean,
feel rather than
plus
the
like
games
there's a lot of
themselves.
like you can definitely get the wrong idea from Minecraft too. Like when I say
Mhm.
Minecraft, maybe like weird dream stands come into the forefront of your mind, or like because
Right.
there's a lot of like like intrusive hype and marketing around Minecraft too. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
like sit here and the
Also,
only
the Windows 10 style of branding does not fit my mental image of Minecraft. It's like very flat and colorful and
uh
modern, and that is not what I think of when I think of Minecraft.
but that's back in then. There will be more games.
Yeah.
um there was one more topic that came up. uh let me just like um do you guys in the chat remember like what I explicitly mentioned we might want to talk about, like within the week of conversations in general? I don't remember. I just remember that happened.
I
Oh,
don't remember.
I'm rel- relying entirely on chat right now. I can't scroll. Um. Okay. Well, somebody remembers me mentioning it. Very helpful.
Mhm.
Um. There was a conversation of like, what would you say to your past self that went on in chat. I don't remember. I don't think that was it. It's always a
Uh,
funny one. It concluded with, "We would definitely fight to the death," and I'm not going to humor the hypothetical anymore. Oh, yearbooks.
oh, that sounds familiar.
What are your thoughts about yearbooks, Dominic? Um,
Ooh, I feel like I have a lot of mixed opinions.
I will tell you the opener. I came
Okay.
home. I was out with some people that were like above us, it, he was one of my friends, but him and his friend group was like the year above us when we were all in high school.
Right, right.
So I went out to dinner with some upperclassmen, like I guess you could say. And one of the things that happened, and then like we went out afterwards, and one of the things that they did is at one point one of them got out their yearbook, and
Mhm.
like they went through it, and it was like interesting moment. And like I
Mhm.
knew they were only a year ahead, so like I was participating.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I was like, well, that was interesting. I probably would have felt a lot more felt a lot more full stop about that if that was my yearbook. I'm curious about my own yearbook now. So I get
Mhm.
home and I'm like, I'm gonna open my yearbook. And I open it up and like I was expecting to be this is probably the first time I've ever opened up my yearbook. Um
Okay.
and I was like expecting to be pleasantly surprised. Uh but I wasn't. I was completely deflated afterwards.
Oh
By the time I
God.
was done looking at the yearbook, I was like, I remember why I didn't want a yearbook, and I remember why I like hated high school and like
Mhm.
knew none of my graduating class, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
geez. That
I
was
think for our case, I think just a lot of people didn't submit pictures. So a lot of the pictures in the yearbook were largely like the friends of the crew who was shooting most of the pictures and organizing the yearbook.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some
Um,
bias. It was you also got to give them
100%.
credit that we were the
They made the
graduating year that our half of our senior year was gone. We didn't have at
Yeah,
the
we
end of our
didn't
senior
like have a
year,
senior
because of the
senior ball or
the
whatever.
the
Because we
pandemic.
graduated class of
Obviously, yeah,
2020.
we were the
They didn't
graduating class of 2020.
like I understand that like the class of 21 and class of 2022 even were both fucked out of a normal graduation, but they didn't even know what to do with us.
Yeah,
Like at least
I
by then I'd assume they would
I
have had
wasn't
like maybe a
even I was
some sort of
away
plan.
at college when the school figured out what they were doing to mimic graduation. I was gone already. I didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
um and of course like I was big. I was like, I don't want a yearbook at the time. And of course, like my mother
Mhm.
insisted on buying one for me, so I owned it.
Right, right.
And I opened it up and I was like, this is dumb. It makes me
Mhm.
upset. And then I was like, hey, people in JaDS server, what do you think about yearbooks? I'm not like a huge fan, honestly.
Yeah.
And there was some mixed. It's nice to hear that not um everyone like that I was not alone in my like general distaste or lack of appreciation for yearbooks. Um, there was a um I do you want me to explicitly mention that the Mr. Person in the chat? Because I will, and I'll cut out me waiting for them as well. I'll get it
Okay.
out. Siren, do you want me to mention you by name? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Siren in the chat has mentioned that they submitted one photo for the yearbook, who was also my yearbook, and
Mhm.
it didn't make the cut, and it got overlooked by like the like 20th picture of one kid who got a lot of pictures in the yearbook who I'm not gonna mention by name.
Mhm.
um and like yeah, that kind of sucks a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's a lot of favoritism going on in the yearbook.
Mhm.
Like if I was the people at the yearbook, I'd get excited for anyone submitting anything, honestly. Like
Mhm. Well, I think my issue, I'm just gonna interrupt before you go on,
mhm,
is that a lot of the things that I was excited about that like I have oddly fond memories of about school, like
mhm.
were not photographed. Like when I think about my high school experience, I think about the time that there were 9 fights in one day. And that shit don't go in a yearbook, but that's like the best story. That day was
Yeah.
nuts. Overall, I just felt very mixed about high school. I had a lot of really good teachers, but my overall experience in high school was atrocious, mostly
Yeah.
because of life circumstances at the time.
Yeah,
Um,
plus I
with the
mean,
exception of high school band, which is a story that I don't think I've told yet.
yeah, well,
Um,
likewise, I kind of came to the conclusion that really the only thing I would have wanted to positively reflect back on was like high school band out of my yearbook, because you
exactly.
know me and Dominic are much the same. Like when I was in okay, this is why the conversation of like paths of like hindsight and reflection and path selves came up in chat a little bit afterwards, because
Mhm.
like I in high school, like I was also because the thing is, yearbook's a social thing, right? You know,
Yeah.
and like I was not a social person in high
Hmm.
school, or rather, I didn't. I
You
was
weren't social with the
betting.
people who were taking the yearbook
Well,
photos.
yeah, but like also in high school, I was betting that my social life was going to actually begin when college started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
we
I
weren't
was,
betting for 2020 to happen.
like a lot of like I had my friends, I had the people that I cared to interact with, but I preferred to stay on the outside. I didn't want to be a part of a greater whole until after I was like a college student or something. And between that and just like a general distaste of like, oh, because maybe you as well, but like I was always like I was like always spiteful. I was like, ah, school spirit can suck it, like this. um so like I would have been anti yearbook even if I liked everyone in my graduating class, but
Mhm.
I didn't know there were so many faces I did not recognize in the people in my graduating class in the yearbook, man. Like,
Mhm.
but I guess that just goes to show if you're not a high school graduate and you're watching this podcast, let this be a lesson to you that you can take good things out of high school, but it's not as important as you think it is. Um,
Mhm.
like
I'm going to speak actually contrary to that because my experience is a little different.
okay,
So I don't think I needed a yearbook for this, but so I mentioned just now, me and Joe were both in band. I was percussionist, and Joe played French horn, and we were both in band together. And there's this very important thing that you do in band, which is that you have your concerts, but then there's like the final concert,
hmm
and usually it's
oh
just like
yeah,
very important, like you know all the seniors stand up. There's like this whole like it's like totally dragged out. So we got a really good music program. So it got very emotional. All of the seniors would come up and give a speech and then all present like one big gift from the class to the music director. There was also a lot of tension because around the time that we graduated, this is like really sad. Our the chairman of our music department was actually like had brain cancer, and it was like every concert was like, guys, this might be his last concert. You have to nail this shit. So there was a lot of pressure on that too. And marching band, our final marching band show was like probably the climax of my entire life. And that's a story I'll get onto at another
Thomas
point.
peaked.
I literally peaked at homecoming.
Which is so
But
ironic because if it wasn't for the context, there's no way that either of us would have ever peaked at homecoming.
yeah, yeah.
Because
But we can tell that story this episode. We can tell it another episode.
yeah,
That can
well, we
break
can.
the
I
order.
mean, band is not one story, but
Band is a whole collection of stories. We could probably have an entire band episode. But the point was,
yeah.
is that it's this like very important emotional release that we'd been building up to over the course of like basically our entire time at high school.
hmm
And then COVID happened in 2020. We didn't get that.
Yeah. Like
And
some people were upset that we didn't have a
mhm,
prom. Our prom got booted.
I
Uh,
I could have given a rat's ass about
Yeah.
prom.
Some people were really
And
upset about not having a prom. Some people were really upset about not having a graduation ceremony
mhm,
and like all the other stuff, like senior skip day and just bumming around and being like a
senior prank we
supermodel,
didn't have.
like
But like
like being like literally a holy being for like the last week of classes. A lot of people were
yeah,
upset.
yeah.
We were upset about nothing except missing our final concert.
It was closure. So here's the thing
Because it
though.
was also going to be a
I
really
was
good concert, like because we put a lot of
we
work into practicing that
we
music.
put a lot of work into that concert. We were gonna play like 7 songs, I think.
You know,
We were playing one song called Blue Shades by Frank Ticelli, which is a
oof.
fucking awesome song, by the way.
Look it
Every
up.
time Blue Shades comes up, we listen to it.
Look it up. If
It's
you
like
can even tolerate listening to like orchestral or like band arrange or like a wind ensemble arrangements of music, give Blue Shades a listen. It's like
Blue
I
Shades
guarantee you'll like listen to even a section of it and be like, Oh yeah, the high school. They were playing this in high school. Oh yeah.
No,
Oh
no, you
yeah.
gotta get like to the halfway point. The first half of the song is exposition for Measure 204, where it says dirty in the fucking score, and everybody loses their shit when we listen to it in playback.
Yeah.
Enough about Blue Shades.
Yes.
I only mention it because we bought an entire set of toms just to play one of the parts in that song.
Mhm.
So that was like actually a large part of our percussion budget went to Blue Shades, and we didn't play it. But the the kicker is that I didn't realize this at first. So I was like so pent up. Like everyone's like, oh, well, the school's like, oh, we'll do like a car parade for the seniors. We'll like come by in our cars and like take a photo with masks on, social distance, and a banner saying happy graduation. I'm like, okay. And I could care less, right? And I was so swept up in being very like explicitly non-caring about graduation that I forgot about the fucking concert. And it didn't hit me until months later when I was watching K-On! K-On! Is like this very like lighthearted show, right? K-On! Is the of every show I've watched,
Dom mentions
ReZero,
this
Made in Abyss, like
sometimes.
Kagero Project. K-On! Has given me the most worst emotional backlash ever from watching it because they have a final concert in K-On!, of course, because they're students that graduate, right? That's not even a spoiler. They're going
Yeah.
to graduate.
And then Dom was like,
And
"We,
yeah, I was
I
like,
was supposed to
because
have this."
it goes almost one-to-one to the way we did the concerts back in high school with like, before the last song, everyone says a thing, and then, everybody plays their lungs out. And for the percussionists, we don't have lungs to
Mhm.
play out. Percussionists don't have lungs. This is a common misconception.
Yeah.
But, you know, at least we don't use them to play if we had them. So when I watched this concert, like I like watched the episode again, and I was like coping, and I watched it 20 times. And I was like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
grieving over like a loss of something. I was like, oh my fucking god. I didn't realize how like devastated I was that I lost it. I was like literally sitting there watching K-On! Like Doomer Woyak face, like seething watching K-On! Like I felt like I'd been robbed from.
Yeah. So that's
Cherish your senior concerts, guys.
yeah, that we don't even have the time. But
Mhm.
that's senior concerts, that's high school, that's
Yeah.
if I listen, if you're in high school, one, nothing matters. Two, pretend everything matters. um I wish that I was nicer to people. Um
Mhm.
and don't bother. You can get a yearbook if you want one, but like please don't treat it like an artifact. It is not one.
I mean, I think for some people it will be
Maybe.
because if you're like in that clique of people who
Like
do like
we didn't
very
even have
interact with,
opportunities to get them signed, but like I know that's a thing people
yeah.
do. But
I
that's
mean, like if you're like within like the popular circle of kids who like interact with like maybe student government and stuff and interact with the people who like make the yearbook, and there's a very good chance that like a yearbook is basically just a personal scrapbook for all the things that you did with your friends in high school.
it's
I
that
would I would less uh, instead of investing in a yearbook, if you're not that, just like save yourself the $100 and just make a scrapbook to remember your high school
just take
experience.
some
Because there's
pictures every
always
once in
going
a
to be
while.
nostalgia, even from hard times that you hated.
Yeah.
I find that a lot, actually. I get
I'll
weird
keep
nostalgia
it.
for bad
I'll keep
times.
it, and I'll just use it as a like megalomaniacal checklist to mark everyone who dies in my graduating class.
What the fuck?
Just put little X's over their faces when they pass on, and
Joe,
see how close I can be to being the last one left.
Joe, at that rate, you're gonna get like hit by karma, and you're gonna be the first to go.
And
I'm
that
gonna have to mark you on your yearbook.
concludes this episodes of JaDS. Unfortunately, we don't have time for
Oh,
anything else.
10 on the dot.
Um,
Very good.
thank you for
Outro.
listening. Well, see you next week. Have a good President's Day, so on and so forth.
I like the way chewing gum tastes. Chewing gum is good. Fuck you.